Good morning, guys. Okay, so I decided to retake the shot because earlier I was like walking and filming and I was like huffing and puffing. It was so funny. I think you could barely hear what I was saying. But anyways, I wanted to say that today we are checking out this really cool place. It's called the Singapore Quarry here at the Dairy Farm Nature Park. So it's really cool. I recently started going to quarries because I think it's so beautiful. It's basically like an excavation site back in the day where they used to do mining, and because it's no longer in use, it's been filled up with water. So it looks really cool. It's kind of almost like a lagoon in some sense. But yeah, so I'm really excited to show you guys this spot. Today is a public holiday, so I'm using this opportunity to film. Also, I was actually at a different spot, a different quarry, which is honestly so beautiful. I actually went there for the first time last Sunday, and yeah, I was really blown away. I actually went there earlier this morning, filmed, but because it's a little bit misty this morning, it ended up being really difficult to see the quarry. So I'm hoping to walk back there later to show you guys, because honestly I think it's one of my new favorite spots. But yeah, so I'm really excited to show you guys this spot today before we continue on the conversation of what I wanted to share in today's video. But I thought it'd be nice to do a little bit day out today. Oh my gosh, guys, so I was just walking. I was barely into like my walk, and then I came across this snake, which is so interesting. It was blue in color and it had an orange head and tail. It was actually really long as well, so it's kind of cool, but I don't know if it's poisonous. It's really interesting what you find in nature. So this is the quarry. It looks really cool. Yeah, it's really nice, but I actually prefer the other quarry to be honest, because yeah, we have a bit of backlight because the sun is rising from that side, so it's a little bit difficult to see like how the quarry actually looks. So now we're gonna head over to the Hinhi Quarry. It's located at Bukit Timah Nature Park. It's a really pretty park, and there's an insane hill that you can walk up. I actually did that on Sunday and it was so tiring, but it was such an accomplishment, although there isn't a view up there. So that's the only bummer about it, but it's really cool. If you're ever in Singapore, you should definitely do that trek. It's really nice. It's a great challenge. Yeah, so we're gonna be walking along the rail corridor, which is really nice. It's like this very long stretch of like nature walk. Yeah, it's really cool, but it's actually really crowded because today's a public holiday and there's like loads of people out today, but it'll be, yeah, nice. I really hope that the mist isn't at the quarry, which it was earlier this morning, because it'll be really sad because I actually prefer that quarry to the Singapore Quarry, and I really want to show you guys as well. So hopefully the mist would have cleared up by now. So we are back at the Bukit Timah Nature Park. Hopefully the mist has cleared up by now, so we're gonna go check it out. But yeah, there's still a lot of people. I came here about an hour ago and headed over to Dairy Farm to check if the mist cleared out, but yeah, still a lot of people. That's why I haven't really been filming much, but I'm really hoping that we'll be able to see the quarry because it's really pretty. Yay, I'm so glad that the mist cleared up so you can finally see it. It's really pretty. I think it's much more beautiful if you actually come here in person and see it for yourself. I remember when I was first walking up the hill and I saw this and I was just like, wow, this is so breathtaking. So yeah, definitely encourage you guys to come here. It is the Hinty Quarry. It's really beautiful. Also, I'd recommend you come here after 10 because I was here at around 9 earlier this morning and it was just way too misty. So I think you have a better shot at 10 when the mist clears. Yeah, this is one of my favorite spots. So before we head home, we're gonna go get a little bit of hojicha frappe because I've been craving an ice blended matcha hojicha for a while. So we're gonna head out to the mall to get that. But I actually found this zip line and it looks pretty fun. So I'm gonna play around just a little bit before we head off to the mall. Dude, I was so scared that I would crash into the pole. I'm gonna refilm this and show you guys like how close I was to the pole. I don't know if it's because like I'm a lot taller than a little kid doing this. So yeah, but I just wanted you guys to see how kind of like sketchy this looks. Dude, it is so sketch, but so fun. So I finally made it to the cafe. Well, it's up ahead. Yeah, so I actually went to another location, which is Somerset, which I thought they had an outlet there, but I realized that it's permanently closed, so it's just so annoying. But anyways, it's a good time to have it now because I'm actually getting really hungry and it's almost noon. So yeah, I'm excited to be having my ice cream shake. So my ice cream is totally demolished by the heat right now. I'm gonna quickly consume it. It hasn't even been like 5 minutes. I was like trying to change my tripod and stuff. Really, really good. So I'm having the float with hojicha ice cream. I love hojicha ice cream. So yeah, I really wanted to treat myself today and it's so nice. I honestly wish that Singapore wasn't this hot and humid, and this is something I always say, but it's so true. I really love this ice cream, so good. I'm gonna finish up and enjoy the rest of this ice cream, and I'll catch you guys at home. See you there. Hey guys, as you can tell, we are not at home. Oh my gosh. I've been trying to find a place to shoot, so I tried filming at home, but it was too noisy. So if you guys know about the storeroom situation where I have my sewing stuff, we have like the water pipes above, so whenever I film, I always get a lot of interruptions. So that wasn't possible. And then when I tried filming in my sister's room, it's connected to my parents' bathroom, and then whenever they would use the bathroom, that also ends up in getting interruptions. So I was like just scratching my head on where can I film this. And so I actually headed out to a park earlier this morning, but then there was so many cicadas. It was just so noisy. So I was like kind of like at the end of myself. And as I was walking out from the park, I came across this place and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take the opportunity to film here. So we're actually at a science park, and this is like on the veranda of this like business building which is so funny. But the good thing is there's nobody here. It's a Sunday, so I'm gonna take the opportunity to film here. But yeah, I've been so desperate in like trying to find places to shoot. Really stretching my creativity here. But anyways, today I wanted to just talk a little bit about something that kind of involves what has just happened, which is when life doesn't go as planned. And if you're not living in Singapore, you wouldn't know, but today as well marks us going back to phase 2, which basically means we can't be dining out, and the group sizes of like going out has dropped from 8 to 2 people. So there's like more and more restrictions coming back, which is a little bit of a bummer. So I think a lot of people are still kind of like frazzled with the whole COVID situation, and I totally understand. So I hope that today's sharing will be able to bring some sort of encouragement. I think what's really important is to have a good perspective on things, and I wanted to share 2 instances where I had very different mindsets, and this was because I was at very different phases of my life. Also, I'm really hoping that the audio is not distracting because I'm outdoors. I can hear birds chirping. The highway's over there, so yeah, really hoping that this will be okay. Also, I think the sun keeps peeking in and out, so I'm gonna switch this a little. But yeah, so I wanted to share very 2 perspectives that I had, and very 2 different outcomes that I've had from those sets of perspectives. So if we rewind back to 2012, so this was like a while ago. That was when I was still really young. I had moved to Perth to do 2 years of high school, and this was the time where I didn't really have a relationship with Jesus. I wasn't in the Word. I was very fresh and I guess searching for answers. And back then, because I didn't have my foundation in Christ, I had a very negative perspective, and this was when I was like spiraling down into depression. I had no hope, and it was like huge adjustments for me because I was moving out of my comfort zone, away from all my friends, into like this foreign place. And back then Perth was honestly a hole. It was so quiet, and it was just a lot of adjustments for me. At the time, I was also living with my grandparents, and that was also challenging because we had very differing mindsets. So because they went through the war and stuff, they were very spendthrift, and they were always very concerned with how we were spending money. But because back then I was younger and very immature, I found it to be a little bit stifling living under their roof. And I do wish that I had more open-mindedness and more empathy, I guess, towards our differing perspectives and way of life. But that's something that I sort of just learned with time. And as a result, oh yeah, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm like squatting down, it's because I don't have a ledge to film this. So I have the tripod on my back, and so just making do with all of this. But anyways, so yeah, I really struggled when I was living in Perth, and it was very hard because I kept thinking negatively. And this is a tip that I would highly recommend, is to mind what you are thinking and to really monitor your thoughts. So it says in the Bible in Philippians 4, I'll actually put up the Bible verse so I don't stuff this up, but it's along the lines of like thinking of thoughts that will give you peace and joy, and dwelling on things that are positive in essence. And that was something I didn't realize was having a very negative toll on me. And I was just like spiraling down because I was just thinking of all this negativity. And something that is from the Bible that has really captured my heart over the years, this truth and revelation, is that, you know, life and death is at the power of your tongue. This is in the book of Proverbs. And I realized more and more that as I was confessing death, so kind of like speaking about what I didn't like about Perth or my situation, complaining, all of these things, which the Bible really tells believers to stand against and not practice that. As I started confessing these things, I realized that I was basically having this self-fulfilling prophecy of death, where I really hated life, I really hated my situation, and I was becoming more and more trapped in, you know, those thoughts and that world. And over time, in my desperation, that was when I really turned to Jesus, because I was coming to an end of myself, and I realized that, you know, what is life? What is life, honestly? Because when you're so trapped in your thoughts, you can get really bogged down. That's when it's almost like you no longer see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if anything, if you do see some light, in those kind of situations, it often feels like it's an oncoming train, as bleak and dark as that sounds. But yeah, I was just so done with life, and I really needed a way out. And it was during that period of time where I began seeking Jesus and really seeking the meaning of life. And I will share more about that in another vlog. But fast forward to 2019. So in 2019, if you've been following me, it was a very unexpected year where life also didn't go as planned. And honestly, life never goes as planned, so you might as well learn to hold it with an open hand instead of like trying to clench onto it and stress yourself out. So 2019, I was back in Singapore for a holiday, not thinking much of it, but I received counsel from 3 different pastors, and they were all essentially saying the same thing, where, you know, God was going to be bringing about a big change to my life, but that really required my cooperation and obedience. And it was tough because it meant giving up a lot of things, and I didn't really know or could foresee the scale of laying down what I had. And I obeyed. I honestly like obeyed in a heartbeat, but it was like the repercussions of what that obedience meant that I had no foresight of, which really wrecked me for a while. And the decision to move back meant a lot of things. It meant breaking up from my relationship then. It meant going away from community. Yeah, and there was like a lot of things that were also being revealed that really broke my heart, and I might share in another vlog, but that was like betrayal and mistrust in what was happening. And basically my life was being turned upside down. That is honestly an understatement. And I was also moving away from a job that I loved but struggled with, and that was me like freelancing as a videographer. So many things I was giving up. I was moving from an entire 2-bedroom apartment to myself to now sleeping on the floor in my brother's room. And at the time, like I said, I just wanted to be obedient, but I knew that there was gonna be challenges. But all is not at a loss, because those losses have honestly turned into my greatest gains, which is where I want to end off today's sharing. In that, if you follow Christ with all your heart, even though the journey is always uncertain, you can definitely be sure that He will give you peace. And it's peace that surpasses all understanding. Yesterday I was reading on Philippians 4, and I put up the verses in the description box below, and it was really comforting knowing that we can keep our eyes on Jesus, and we can continue to lift our prayers to Him, and we can be expectant and hopeful, because He is honestly a good God. He's having our best interests at heart. I can totally vouch for it that whatever you give up for the Lord's sake, you will definitely receive much, much more in return, and it's only a matter of time. And this is something that's even promised in the Bible. So again, I'll put that in the link below, and it's something that I really hold on to, something that gives me a lot of hope. So the great things that have happened since moving back, something that I'm really thankful for is actually my full-time job. And even though I struggle with it, because personally I like working on my own, I love freelancing, and I just love the freedom and flexibility of schedule. So that's something I'm sort of laying down and just really trusting in the Lord in His timing. But I'm really thankful for my full-time job at the moment, because a lot of people I know are suffering. Many have lost their jobs, and it's not a good time to be jobless. So it's really an opportune time that I've actually been given a full-time role, especially because when I was in Sydney, I was freelancing, and I'm not much of a hustler, so I really wouldn't go out of my way to like get a job. And a lot of the jobs that I was getting in back then was all through word of mouth, which honestly is by the grace of God. And so I'm really thankful that now I have this stability, especially during this time. And another win is that I've grown a lot closer to my family, especially my mom. And this is something that has been a heart cry prayer for me, because when I was growing up, I didn't have a close relationship with my mom, because I was very closed off as a person. And I honestly doubted my mom's love, and I had rejected myself. So I believed a lot of lies growing up, that I wasn't loved. Yeah, that made me very reclusive, and I was going through a lot of like doubts and in a lot of pain and hurt. But amazingly, God has brought back a lot of restoration and healing, and I definitely want to share that in a different video. But I'm so thankful that now I'm really close to my mom. We've been going out on like nightly walks every night, and we talk a lot. Mostly she does the talking. But it's just very comforting knowing that my relationship with her has been restored and healed. So very thankful for that. And I just can't help but laugh, because God has honestly restored to me so much more than I could ever imagine. Yeah, I get a lot of flashbacks to how painful it was when I first moved back to Singapore. But I honestly laugh because so much has happened for the better. So this one scene that kind of replays in my mind, which makes me laugh so much, is on New Year's Eve in 2019, I was on the bedroom floor crying because I was totally devastated. That was when I had broken up, and I really wanted to fly back to Sydney to run away, to be honest, but I'm so glad that I didn't do that. And yeah, I was just so broken because at the dinner table I just felt so distant from my family, and I just realized what a mess what a mess I had become. But that was like the beginning of God's amazing plan of restoration for me. And my brother was so sweet. Like, he was so heartbroken seeing me crying and all, that he sat beside me and we kind of just cried together. And yeah, that kind of makes me a little emotional knowing that I have that great of a support system. And I've honestly been trying to open up more to my family, which I guess still is a bit of a struggle, because I'm someone who likes to kind of navigate things in my mind and assess things and sort of figure it out without trying to impose on other people. So still a learning journey there. But yeah, it's been a real blessing being back. The only thing I struggle with is, like I said, like trying to find a filming location. But yeah, it's fun going out to explore, find all these different locations. And I know that in time to come, when I look back at these videos, I will again laugh because the struggle was so real, but it's been a joyful process. Oh yes, and the real difference between what happened in 2012-ish to now is really my knowledge and understanding of the love of God, and how I realize more and more that the truths in the Bible really do set you free, especially if you begin to take it seriously and you begin to put it into practice. It definitely takes practice not to speak negatively over whatever situation you're going through, but I realize more and more that we honestly have the power of self-fulfilling prophecy, in that whatever we speak, I do believe as believers, will give power either to the devil or to God to, I guess, allow us to see hardship or blessing manifest in our lives. And a lot of times, like, people always say, oh, if it's God's will, then this will happen and whatnot. But God has honestly given us the authority to live a full and triumphant life, and the only reason why we're not doing that is because of what we say, how we act, and us not aligning ourselves to His word. So that's something that I really want to continue to practice in my life. This is something I will continue to encourage myself and encourage you guys to do. So yeah, life will never go as planned, but rest assured that if you put your trust in the Lord Jesus, you really hold on to His word, really have it as a guard over your life, and cling on to it for hope, I do believe that in time to come you will eat of the goodness and the fruitfulness of that. So that's it for this video. I hope that it encourages you. And not gonna lie, low-key, I'm getting a little bit of lactic acid in my joints, so I'm gonna get up and head out. But yeah, I hope that this was able to put a smile to your face and to encourage you, especially when things aren't really going as planned. I do believe that you can trust in the goodness of God, and to trust in His timing and the way that He is helping you navigate life. A lot of times when we feel like we're giving up a good thing, just know that if you are continually yielding to His Spirit and His leading, whatever you lose for His sake, you'll definitely gain much, much more in return. And I just wanted to end off on that note. Alright, I'm gonna head off now. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye!